All right, I think we're all set. I think I got everything working.
It says my mic is muted, but that's
good. Yeah, you're good. That's the way we want it, so we don't get feedback.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to Fanstream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
The other one.
Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good morning to you as we welcome in a co-host of mine. Straighten up your camera, for God's sakes, bro. Tilt your thing down.
Why do you want to be in the shot? Is that what makes
No,
the
I don't want
best
to
shot?
be. No, I
The
want
two
you to,
shot?
No, I don't want the two shot. See, this is the way this is going to go today. I just want you in a one. Actually, that's not too bad. I actually kind of like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good right there.
Yeah, maybe we should have the photographer pan to the two shot. Rico, can you pan to the two shot? Nice job, Rico.
Good job.
You should get a bonus.
How's the boom mic working? Can you bring in the boom mic?
Can I get a love, please?
Lav, please. No.
For gosh sakes.
This doesn't it feel like we're calling a game right now?
My name is not Nick Geddes. I wish it were. I wish I were in his tax bracket.
Yes, you should be. But there's a Geddes that won the U.S. Open, so you can pretend like you won the U.S. Open. This is Brian Fasulo, by the way, my longtime Channel 8 colleague. You remember him from the daytime show. We actually go way back to Tallahassee. What year did you come in to intern for me?
1992, I walked into your office. Your name was John back then.
Yeah.
And I said, hello, Mr. Peterson, my name is Brian.
Nobody remembers that.
I was 17 years old. And I said, I'd like to be a sportscaster someday. And you said, well, go get your paperwork filled out. And here we are. What's the difference between now and 1992?
Absolutely nothing, except you fart more.
No, I mean, time-wise, I'm not a math guy.
Yeah.
Is that 30 years?
30 years, yeah.
30 years.
30 years.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Red-faced and broke, just like we were 30 fucking years ago.
And the set is not unsimilar similar to WTXL Sunday Sports Extra with Brad Johnson and Casey Weldon sitting between us.
God,
Remember
Brad
that one?
Culpepper.
Brad Culpepper would come on. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think we even had Reggie Jefferson on. Of the Cincinnati Reds. His daughter now works in the cubicle right over there. How about that symmetry?
Isn't that funny? You know, I have two kids in college, and Charlie Ward's daughter goes to school with one of my kids.
Yes, we covered it in the 1993 National Championship. I went to New York with it, the old Heisman building before it got the old downtown athletic club.
We are old.
Yeah.
Red Grange called in and said, how are you? Hop along, Cassidy is,
he rest in peace, my old neighbor.
It's all good.
Yeah. Y.A. Tittle. That was great. So Brian and I go.
Are you allowed to say that on the radio?
Y.A. Tittle.
Oh,
you can say Y.A. Titties on this show. It doesn't really even matter.
God.
So Brian is here. We're going to talk some sports. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a big fat maybe.
I think the way it's going to go down is you're going to say stuff that's pertinent.
Right.
And I'm going to say things that are irreverent.
Right.
And you're going to want to punch me in the concussion by the end of this.
No.
Yeah, you will.
No.
I promise you. If I don't get your goat at least one time, I will be shocked.
Won't happen. Dude, how long have I known you?
You're
haven't done it.
unflappable?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I know your
triggers. Do you know some of the people I've worked with? For God's sakes, you do know my triggers. So I won't get mad at you, but I will go down the rabbit hole. See, Nick knows enough not to say the certain words like Sternberg and stadium and COVID and hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you just don't say any of those words and we'll be fine.
What if Sternberg got COVID? Would you want him to get hydroxychloroquine?
Yes, of course I would.
Okay.
But he wouldn't do it because, he has... See,
because he listens to doctors?
No, because...
God forbid he listens to doctors.
Yeah, how'd that work out now? How'd those doctors do right now, Dr. Fauci? How'd they do? Oh my God! See, we started already.
Yes. So this is a sports show.
Yeah, it is the sports show. So we actually do have some breaking news. So we'll get ready. Actually, we need to set up the show, tease the show. You're a TV
okay.
guy. You know
All
how to
right.
tease the show.
Yeah, look at my show prep. This is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That's
really
it
good.
right there.
So we just got Ryan Gerard, who's going to join us. He is a great story. He's playing out at the Valspar on a sponsor's exemption. He Monday qualified for the Honda. Did not have any.
Shit.
It goes just, these guys, they Monday qualify. A bunch of them just qualified. I think 4 or 5 of them just qualified at Southern Hills. I believe they had this qualifier for this week. So these guys come in and they just, you got 50, 75 guys for about 4 or 5 spots. And maybe you make it, maybe you shoot 65, you get in. And then you go play with the pros. So he did that and finished 4th at the Honda. Damn near won it. Yeah.
And I will submit to you
$600,000 he won.
That is just one more reason why golf is the greatest game in the world.
The ultimate meritocracy.
Yep.
You don't get you don't play well, you don't make squat.
Yeah, but you can't just show up at Lambeau Field on Monday and be on the roster on Sunday.
Well, look at the U.S. Open. You can go. Anybody can go qualify. You're good enough. You can get into the U.S.
What do you have
Open.
to be, like a 7 to get into a qualifier?
I think it's 3. They got to be a 3 handicap
so
or less.
You or I.
We're never getting.
So not everyone can get.
We can save our money. Yeah. But if you're good enough, you can win the U.S. Open. It's open to everyone.
Yes.
If you're good enough, if you shoot a requisite score, you can. What other sport is there out there that you can win the highest award in the sport and you're just a Joe Schmo? There is none.
No.
Maybe 10. Maybe
the Masters is pretty easy to get in. We should get into that.
The Masters, you can't even get in with a ticket. It's hard to get a ticket to that thing. Yeah. So yeah, I'll squeeze in there. So Ryan's coming on at 10:15, and then at 10:45, Doug Waechter is going to join us. Rich Hollenberg, our former colleague on the Daily Sports Source, which of course we'll talk about that.
Is it baseball season? Oh, it's spring training.
Spring training,
now.
yeah. So
I went to a game.
Yeah, we're about 2 weeks away from the actual season start.
Great.
So we'll talk about the new rules to speed up the game.
I saw that they had the shot clock at the Yankee game.
Yes.
So
there is a pitch clock.
20 seconds to get everything done,
and it's fabulous.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's fabulous. No more crotch grabbing and spit. Well, you just have to do it quicker.
What would Nomar Garciaparra do?
What would Derek Jeter do
now? Did he do that nonsense as bad as Garciaparra?
Yeah, no one was worse than Jeter though.
Really?
Every pitch had to step out, both gloves.
Somebody Google that. Who took more time in their pre-shot routine?
Scratch,
Nomar Garciaparra or Derek Jeter? So
we'll talk to Doug, and then at 11:30, our good friend Coach Z, David Zimroff, is going to join us to talk about the brackets. The NCAA, he coached in 3. No, he coached in way more than that. 4 or 5 different NCAA tournaments. Coached at Georgia, at FSU, and USF. And USF is looking for a new head basketball coach.
As you know, I am going to bring up the TCU Horned Frogs.
Yes, so you are also a Division I athlete parent.
And over again.
Yes.
I have, there's something going on, and I should have sent this to you in some sort of show prep, but I ended up going to that Hula Bay last night and imbibing too much.
Yeah, that's
I
how that happens.
Really do any show prep. And then before that, it was that place on Beta Bay that overlooks the water there. It's a fancy place.
Counterculture, yes.
But
that's where all the rich people go.
Mark Rubio,
all
Rob
the rich
Stern,
people,
Darren Herman. They bought it all for me. So you guys, thank you very much. But there's a kid from TCU basketball, and a really awkward thing happened very recently.
What happened?
You're ready to go there now?
Well, we're gonna go to Ryan Gerard here in a little bit, so maybe we'll save that story for a little bit later on.
I will tease it for you.
Yeah, tease.
So he was the emotional leader of TCU basketball, which is a top 20 program. They're in the dance. I think they're a 5 or 6 seed, and 6'11", big kid. My daughter plays there, so they work out with the basketball team.
Right.
So I've met the kid, and pick up my picture with him in the whole 9 yards. So he becomes disgruntled. And he said some things about the head coach.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So the short story is, and we can discuss this a little more later, his mom, the player's mom, got in and on Instagram and said some disparaging thing about the head coach. And these things may or may not have been the fact that the basketball player was an African-American and the coach is not. and they made some accusations. And
no.
what the coach said, this is unbelievable. The coach said in an open forum, he was like, well, look, the transfer portal is this date. We know he will be an NBA player. We give him all the support in the world. The mom got back on and she was like, yeah, no, we're not talking about the transfer portal. We're trying to work this out. You're supposed to be a Christian to my son.
Oh, my God.
And that was the coach's way of saying, yeah, no, the transfer portal is open. He won't be coming back.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that was the week of the Big 12 championship. We go in, we beat, Kansas State in game 1, then lose to Texas in game 2 without this 6'11" stud. So, but
wow, what a story.
Yeah, I'll have you pull it up. My daughters and my friends, and we've all been watching it on Instagram. When you watch this shit unfold in real time with racial overtones and everything, you're just sitting there going, son, please be very, very careful. Don't hit send.
Yeah.
And now he's got to try to either get picked up by another team or enter some sort of NBA draft.
But he won't be playing in the tournament.
He's already not playing.
Yeah, which sucks because, and I don't know what happened on either side, but it just, these days, none of that stuff can be kept quiet because it goes right out on social media. These things used to be worked out in the coach's office with the parents. They come in, they talk like human beings, and
and then your mom gets on. I mean, why doesn't she just come out and hit him with a shoe?
Well, it might have been easier that way.
Yeah.
And you as a Division I parent, obviously not that high profile, you don't want to step in there. You want your kids to find their own way. We want them to figure it out. You don't need to get in between the coach and the player.
And fortunately, unlike when we were younger, that's a thing now. Like when our kids are in youth sports, we're not even allowed to talk to the coach, which is great. We shouldn't. The children should bring their challenges to their coach and work it out with an adult because that's maturing in life.
Right.
If your coach is an idiot, hey, guess what? We all got to deal with idiots when we grow up too.
Right, exactly.
So deal with it, whether your coach is smart or dumb or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
It's good to interact with them as a youngster because, hey, life ain't easy.
All right, so we'll talk more about that a little bit later. We do have a little bit of breaking news. The Bucks have made a trade. They have sent Shaq Mason, their starting right guard, to the Texans. The Bucks, per Greg Auman and Ian Rappaport and Rick Stroud, Bucks gave up a 7th and get a 6th normal compensation for a player who could be cut for cap purposes. Houston gets him ahead of free agency at a reasonable price. Bucks get something rather than an outright release, which is nice. So they move up from 230 to 181.
And we lose Shaq Mason.
Yeah, so they lose Shaq Mason, which, we do have a surplus of young guard or backup guards now. I mean, obviously Shaq Mason's a pretty damn good player. So the offensive line now, you're moving Tristan Wirfs from right tackle to left tackle. You're moving Hainsey was a starting center last year. Ryan Jensen returned. So you have an all-pro center, an all-pro right tackle moving to left tackle. I have no problem with that. Wirfs incredibly athletic. Could be the best left tackle in the game within a year and a half. Left guard could be Nick Leverett, who played pretty damn well, high PFF or above average PFF grade at left guard. Hainsey can move to right tackle because he played right tackle at Notre Dame. He can also go to right guard and fill in for Shaq Mason. And then Gedeke, who was a second-round pick that we tried to move from right tackle in college to left guard, was a disaster. Started at right tackle against the Falcons in the last game and played pretty well. So what I'm saying is you got some good young players mixed with some older seasoned all-pros. I think you got the makings of a decent offensive line. They'll probably draft an offensive lineman as well to compete. Not too bad. And they move up.
You managed to find a silver lining in
I
everything.
do.
I mean, I think this is the beginning of the end for the Buccaneers. We will see as to whether management can step up, who best circumvents the laws of the cap.
Right.
And I'll give them credit. They did an incredible job over the last 5-7 years. So, I mean, but now times will be lean and we will see, if the cream rises to the top.
This is, you went cliche right there. Big time. That was nice. Well, listen, it is the Tom Brady salad days are over. Okay. It is what it is. This is the rebuild where, people
Doesn't everyone have a Tom Brady that comes in and saves the day? Isn't that normal in sports?
No. And that's why it was the most wonderful, amazing thing of all time. It was full of dips and dives and Super Bowl in avocado tequila, and we need to relive the whole Brady thing here at some point in the show. But and now this is the rebuild. It's going back to Bucks mediocrity. Now, how good can Jason Light be? It's all about him now. The general manager has to do what the Eagles did. They won a Super Bowl, and then 5 years later, they were back in the Super Bowl. Got to find a young quarterback. You got to rework the offensive line. They re-signed Jamel Dean, which I never thought they could do. So they got two high-level corners to work with on defense. You got Vita Vea, one of the best interior linemen. Their Shaq Barrett's coming back, but they need to find another edge rusher. So the defense is going to be in a little bit of flux. Might lose Levante David. Devin White, we have to decide what we're going to do with him.
Good.
So it's all about personnel right now. So the most important person in the building is Jason Light and his team of talent evaluators, and they got to nail this draft.
So
they have got to nail this draft.
Like with Tom Brady, how they got Antonio Brown essentially for free.
Yeah.
And they got Gronk essentially for free. They got Fournette essentially for free. You don't think that like a Kyle Trask is going to reach into his Instagram and start bringing in superstars from all over the league to play for cheap?
No.
Here in Tampa Bay?
No, I just don't think it's quite the same draw.
He's got like 400,000 followers, so he may be able to do it.
Yeah. I don't think the Rolodex is not quite what Rolodex, the kid said. What the hell is that?
Tom Brady could call anyone.
That's right.
They would answer.
He could, absolutely. All right, watch this. I'm going to press a button. We're going to go to break, see if this works here. Nicely done. All right, we are going to have a real live PGA Tour professional joining us here when we come back. And Brian's probably going to say something completely inappropriate. The guy's going to hang up. No, that won't happen, but it might. So stay with us. Quick break.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship returns this March 16th to the 19th with 4 days of golf action plus the host of fun activities that make it Tampa Bay's hottest spring sports ticket. Sam Burns, who won in a thrilling playoff last year, is looking to make it 3 wins in a row on the Copperhead course at Innisbrook Resort. He will be challenged by a top field that includes Jordan Spieth, return
And if I can get it through the PGA Tour and not have to worry about going back there, that'd be amazing. Even though I love the guys out there on the Korn Ferry, but big tour's always been the dream, and that's just something that's really special. And I hope I can get it done the next couple weeks. And if not, yeah, we might go back to the Korn Ferry and have some fun. But we're just taking what I got right now and seeing what happens. Booking hotels one day at a time.
I hear you. I'm actually playing in the Club Car Championship at the Landings in Savannah, March 23rd through 26th. So
perfect.
I'm in the Pro-Am, so I'm on the Am side. So if you're up there, we will have to throw back a couple of beverages.
That's
perfect.
Ryan Gerard joining us here. He's in the field this week at the Valspar Championship. This is obviously a dream to play in another PGA Tour event. Have you played the course yet? What do you think of the course? I played a few weeks ago in the media day. The rough was about 4 inches, and they said they were going to grow it even more. What's the rough like out there?
It is gnarly. I wouldn't say it's 4 inches. I'm not really sure, but it's thick, and the ball sits right down to the bottom. So you got to be very precise off the tee. Course is sweet. Got to hit good shots, otherwise you're going to get exposed big time. And greens are getting quick and crispy. So it's everything you could want. And it's a little cold out here. I'm not used to it. I'm wearing pants today for the first time in probably about a month, but I'm loving every second of it. We're about to go peg it in a few minutes and have a good time.
All right, before you go, what's the best part about the PGA Tour compared to the Korn Ferry Tour? Is it the food? What's the best? The spread?
Oh man, yeah, the food's pretty good. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I'd say maybe my favorite part. It's gonna sound pretty stupid, but it's just like the grandstands. You can kind of see all the people out there, and it's cool to have a lot of people watching and just kind of see how much infrastructure they're putting up, and just for 1 week golf tournament for people to come out and watch me out of everyone. So
well, Gronk's going to be there on Friday at the rooftop. Gronk and and a bunch of Lightning players. I don't know if you're a hockey fan. Don't talk to me about the Hurricanes who kicked the Lightning's ass the other day. If you probably are a Hurricanes fan, right? Well, all the Lightning.
Oh yeah, big time.
All the Lightning players will be there with their rings, their shiny rings that Carolina doesn't have. So you're going to meet all these guys. How cool is that?
That'd be sweet. I might have to get Gronk to spike a golf ball for him.
Yes. Yeah, he'll do that. Easy.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I just ask him. He'll be up on the roof. That'll be fantastic. Well, listen, I know you got to go play, so thank you for taking the time, Ryan. Appreciate it. Good luck to you. And is your dad going to be here this week?
Yeah, I think he's going to drive on over, so it'll be really cool to have him around.
Oh, man, I want to meet your dad. I'm going to come find you and meet your dad because I bet he's the proudest papa in the world with what you've done the last couple weeks. Yeah. Did you buy him anything cool out of that check?
Not yet. We're gonna do some financial advising.
Okay, all right, smart dude.
That is wise, young man.
Spend it like a drunken sailor.
We're gonna have a hard bottom on this market. Wait till it crashes.
Oh my God! Financial advice from Brian Fasulo.
Don't put over $250,000 in one bank right now.
Yeah, that's sound advice.
Little FDIC thing right now.
Brian, thank you so much for your time, buddy. I really appreciate it. We'll find you when we get out there. Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks so much, guys.
Go get him, man. This is awesome.
We'll be pulling for you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Ryan Gerard right there. Appreciate it.
That's so great.
How cool is that?
Nothing.
His dad teaches him the game,
Well, that's
come on,
that's
man.
almost a prerequisite now.
Yeah.
To
Well,
be a great golfer. It's almost
you're watching Full Swing, right?
I am.
Did you see the Tony Finau story?
I did. That was the exception.
Is that awesome?
It's phenomenal. I love
Did you see the I'll never forget the golf ball marks on the garage door.
Fantastic.
He sets up a hitting net in his garage with netting and an old mattress so his kids can learn how to play golf because he couldn't afford range balls at the local public range.
Justin Thomas, whose dad is a pro.
PGA pro, right?
PGA pro. The Joel Damon story I thought was great. All of them. Now, let me ask you this: I've heard mixed reviews about the Brooks Koepka version?
Yeah.
Did you think he's a pompous ass, or did you think he's a pompous ass, but he kind of opened up?
I think he's a pompous ass, and so is his girlfriend.
Well, she's got a nice ass. There's a big difference. She showed her hiney on that show.
She did.
And
she showed her hiney her entire life. I mean, it's not new.
That's
Jenna Sims. She's a Sports Illustrated model.
So that's her living?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then it makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, you
Joel
mean she was
Damon's
just-
wife didn't show her
Yeah.
hiney.
I
mean, Dustin Johnson's wife would definitely show her hiney.
She's shown her hiney before.
That's what these people do.
They do. They show their heinies. Yeah, that's
and they make money
so they get Instagram followers
from showing their heinies.
Right. That's the world we live in. Yeah, absolutely.
So
some people show their heinies and they don't even make money at it.
That's true. Do you think that that the Koepkas kind of had Final Cut and they were able to watch it? And the hiney scene comes up, and she says yes or no, or they're just like, we're going with the hiney scene.
You know what? I don't know if they have final. And like I know in the HBO series for football, the coaches and the general manager have final say on editing.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff on Hard Knocks. So I would think in this one they do as well. I don't think the PGA Tour would sign off on it unless they did. So I think there's somebody at the tour that is probably in charge of that, and but they understand they want it to be as raw as possible. But
for a guy who only gets up for big matches, meaning Koepka,
you mean
and boy did he. Well, and that's my point. Is now he's on the shit tour.
Yeah,
and he just wakes up every day, and for a competitor, I mean, yes, he's making money, and God bless him, and no one will begrudge him that. But if you're a player and you've got all the money in the world,
right,
then he's got to wake up every day. And, well, I mean, at least it's to a really nice turd slicer.
Right, that's right. And say, I'm completely irrelevant in the game of golf now.
Yes.
Until I play in a major and shoot 4 over par, and then I'll be irrelevant again on
or
the weekend.
Bryson DeChambeau walks behind me and makes some sort of gesture, and then we play goofy games for a little while.
But at least then they were relevant, both of them. Now they're completely irrelevant. They were the biggest names on tour 3 years ago.
Yes.
Now they go to Live Golf. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Now they'll come and we had Bob Harrigan yesterday, Sports Illustrated golf writer, best in the business, and he said, well, we're all going to be watching to see how they play in the majors because they're playing on this carnival, tour that they are now. My words, not his. And how do they get tournament ready for the Masters when you're playing 54 holes with your little team on Live on the CW, with some Looney Tune character's going to come out with
but
take
his
you
wife
off
has a lovely brown starfish. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, maybe that's something to come home to.
Kids do much to show. No, it is. I don't know why you would. I mean, you already have as much money than you can ever spend in your life, even before you went to Live Golf.
Phil Mickelson, that's the anomaly here. So that guy, he did it right.
Okay.
He lost all his money, and he found a way out.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that's crazy.
if you can gamble away $150 million of your wealth, if that's even possible, like how much of a loser you can literally throw darts and just and bet 50 to 1 and do better than that.
Nothing. I mean,
like when you have that much money, you should never lose because you just keep doubling down until you win, and then you get it all back.
Maybe that's what he did, and it just never landed on green.
You can't. Well, it's not going to go 50 times red or.
Evidently, it did.
And you can't be that bad.
And he's running around with this. What's the guy's name? Walters or something from Vegas, who he almost got indicted with, who's the biggest gambler in all of sports.
You probably know more about that than
me. To be friends with that guy too, and still make this happen. But talk about the sun not shining on the same doggy's ass. How does this guy lose everything, and the Saudis bail him out?
The Saudis.
That's the best story ever.
Yeah, the Saudis bail him out. Yeah.
That is the best story ever.
And he rips the Saudis.
Now, the downside, I mean, Cam Smith, I loved watching that guy play golf.
What a putter.
Everything.
What a putter.
I mean, the 17th hole at St. Andrews, are you serious?
Yeah. What an up and down. What an up and down. Are you
and his
remember when he hit it behind the
and his
bunker?
beer
I'm like, there's no way he's getting this up and down. And I'm pulling for Rory, right? We're all pulling for Rory. And Rory plays a perfect back nine as far as ball striking. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think he missed a shot. He couldn't make it.
And there was a third one who drove the green on 18 and had to make a eagle.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Cantlay or something. But, I mean, so, and to be honest with you, as much as nobody watches the Live Tour, I don't watch the PGA as much.
Why?
Because those guys are there.
Yeah. It was bad for golf.
It's
bad
for golf.
And in the end, I'm going to have to take a break here in a second. In the end, it's bad for golf, but it needed to happen because clearly Jay Monahan at the PGA Tour has suddenly found some magic pot of money.
Oh yeah, Scotty Scheffler makes what 4.5 this week.
Yeah, so you know
Jacksonville.
Where was this money? Where were all these other changes to the tour that you know, frankly, Greg Norman has been talking about for years, that all these people have been talking about for years, that the PGA Tour could never do, and then when the Live Tour comes up and forces them to make the changes, suddenly we can do it. Just like college football, we could never find any money to pay these players. Now through NIL, they're getting paid. And by the way, that money that's going to the players now used to go to the schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't think, oh, well, the NIL is paying it. No, it's a redistribution of the money.
Yep.
And now it's finally going to the players because the people that were in charge of the money were too greedy to pay the players that were actually making them millions and millions of dollars for decades and decades.
Can we talk about that after the break? This is really
good.
Yeah,
we can absolutely, because you and I have watched these
Can you
things
take
happen.
callers on the show?
If you get me a phone number, I can call them. Yeah, give me a phone number. We got comments here that they'll comment in the comment section. So, yeah. Everybody comment on Brian, and he'll react to you for sure. All right, Doug Waechter's coming up at 10:45 in our discussion on college sports and much. But who knows where the hell this thing's going? Stay with us. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group and Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Testosterone replacement and weight loss, and they got that great machine now that you don't have to work out, Brian, and it gives you abs. 15 minutes is all you got to do. A couple times a week.
Abs.
Yep, 15 minutes. What about 7-minute abs? No 7-minute abs.
I know that guy.
JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that they are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show.
Why does your voice change when you come on the air?
Because that gravelly old
like
voice
this
there.
when he's off the air, and then he gets on the air and he goes, "Welcome back."
Wait, I screwed up the overlay. Wait, here we go. There we go. There, Nick Geddes again.
Yep. So that is Nick.
He just got married. Nick got married on Saturday night.
Really?
You would know this because you watch The Voice. Do you watch The Voice?
The Voice. On occasion, sure.
You remember Kenzie Wheeler from Dover here in
how many seasons ago?
Maybe a couple seasons ago. I think I'm getting his name right. Anyway, the father of the bride brought him in to sing the wedding song, like live at the.
Oh, neat.
How cool is that?
It's super cool.
Yeah. So I think he was like a runner-up on The Voice, and he's really good too.
Nice.
Great country guy. All right, so you
I had Conway Twitty sing at my wedding. You were there.
Did you really?
No.
Oh.
I woke up crying late at night.
See, I knew that was coming.
And I was very.
I don't know any Conway Twitty songs.
Oh, he's got a bunch of great songs. Yeah.
You're more of a George Strait that guy though too. Isn't George Strait coming?
Yes, he's
With
coming
Chris
to
Stapleton?
Raymond James, and that's going to be massive.
Yeah,
50 number one hits.
We got to go. 50 number one hits. 5-0.
5-0.
Holy hell!
Yeah, it's
that's
incredible.
a lot.
Yeah, George Strait's the guy.
Taylor Swift's got like 10.
So and she's got a lot more money.
10,000.
So I was earlier. I was referencing, Brooks Koepka's wife, and it made me go on to words for butthole.
I think you also went and Googled her as well. Right.
So and I went to Urban Dictionary and I started laughing in the break, and I have to share some of these with you.
Please don't.
If this doesn't make you shit your pants.
Please don't.
Ready?
Please
Are you ready?
Please
Words
don't.
for butthole.
No.
Goody hole.
Goody.
Stink star.
Stink star.
Fart box.
Okay.
Back door.
Yeah.
Guest bed.
Guest
bed.
Rusty
Starfish.
Guest bed.
Dirty basket.
Dirty. Oh.
And the best one, corn pocket.
Corn pocket.
Yeah.
Remember, we used to call it cornhole. You can't call it cornhole anymore. You gotta corn toss.
We used to call it the old mustard road.
Yeah, no, the game, the corn.
Sorry.
Trying to get your mind out of the gutter. So you want to talk about college sports and because your daughter is in beach volleyball, Gabby at TCU,
the number 1 ranked team in America.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, so they came to Tampa. Thank you very, very much. They came to Tampa for a tournament last weekend, and
sorry I missed the team dinner there.
It was really fun.
Yeah,
I had 22 girls over the house, and you were invited.
Yes, thank you.
And we played Georgia State's very good team, and then we played Florida State, who was the number 2 team in the nation. We were 3 at the time, beat them 4-1. Meanwhile, out west, USC beats UCLA, and TCU beach volleyball for the first time in history reaches the number 1 ranking in the United States, and it makes me want to cry every single time I think about it.
That is fantastic.
Unbelievable.
That is fantastic. And a lot of the girls in college athletics now are making lots of money from the NIL. The two twins down at Miami are all over Instagram, crushing it.
Yep. Gabby's got 4 deals.
Yeah. 4 deals. 4 NIL deals.
Yep. She gets free shrimp and I should know the name and plug them.
Yes, you should.
Tacos,
especially
something
on
or other.
A global show like this.
In Fort Worth.
Yes.
She gets
missed opportunity.
She signs volleyballs from people for $25 and has done many. They do this thing through a portal.
Really?
She
so
has a
she
deal
signs
with
the volleyballs.
Yep. She has a deal with Tona Leggings, which is a very, very, very high-end legging, TONA, from the founding designer of Lululemon. So
can I get a couple of those for the lovely Ashley?
Yes,
She loves the
I
leggings.
will ask.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the company hasn't even launched yet, but it's going to be massive.
They haven't even launched it. I'm already asking for free crap.
They are. We have 160,000 pairs stateside. So I say we. I'm helping with the marketing of Tona. So,
Yeah.
yes, Gabby is going to.
And think about the decades and decades that these kids could have been doing this, learning a lot about business, by the way, along the way, learning about how to monetize their life, learning things, real skills that they can take into the real world and actually make money, getting ahead of, after graduation. I mean, it's the most obvious freaking thing we could have done forever, but these greedy bastards that have been in charge of the money all these years just wouldn't let it go. We can't pay the players. What a bunch of horse poop.
Ed O'Bannon sees himself on like a video game.
Yes.
And says, well, what is going on here?
Right. Exactly. Oh, but you get a free education.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Do you know what percentage?
Stop it.
Trivia. What percentage of current students at the University of Florida and Florida State University get free tuition? Essentially free.
I do not know.
100%.
100%?
100%.
Get free tuition?
Yes.
How's that work?
By virtue of getting into these two schools, which are so hard to get in, you have to have made Bright Futures.
Right.
You don't get in unless you have that GPA.
Yeah.
So Bright Futures pays for your college.
Doesn't pay the whole tuition, though.
Does pay the whole tuition. So there's a 75% and there's a 100%.
Yeah.
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 So, and you know what? And you can get into politics and all that kind of shit, but the truth is that movement by, I don't know whether it was Lawton Childs or whether it was whatever, Bob Martinez or Bob Graham, whoever did that.
That was a big deal.
Probably had the most profound impact on public universities in the history of the United States.
And they still charge out-of-state tuition for all the people
we
that
took
make tons of money.
Very, very average schools and made them fantastic.
Well,
made them free.
I mean, you know what? But Florida State, when we went there, you could get in with an 800 SAT.
I did.
Yeah, many of us did.
I had a 1.6 coming out of college, and I got in both.
Yeah, and you can't do that now. And you know why? Because of Bobby Bowden and the football programs, and made those universities so incredibly.
Yeah. Well, Bright Futures helped as well, man.
Yeah, but
if you're going to be a great student here in Florida, and you're going to go right across the border and go to Georgia or Auburn or Clemson and
pay
Georgia
all that
Tech,
money,
any one of the great schools, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand, or you go to Florida, Florida State, Florida Atlantic, Florida Gulf Coast, free. Are you kidding me?
That's the sound of the that we got to take, because Doug Waechter's coming up next. We're going to talk some Rays baseball with the great Doug Waechter. So stay with us.
Tour's Valspar Championship returns March 16th to the 19th with 4 days of incredible golf plus a host of activities. Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. If you need some testosterone replacement therapy, or you want to lose weight, do all that stuff, you can do that at BAMMC.com. Call Chris Lugo and the group over there. They will take care of you. Get you on that fat machine, Fasulo, so you don't have to
I don't need that.
go to the workout.
I just read that we have an entertainment committee meeting tomorrow at
we do.
5:30. I'm going to be out of town, so I can't go.
Oh, I'll take care of it
You'll
for
have
you.
to be late on my behalf.
Yeah, I'll be.
Guys,
I will be late on your behalf.
Why are you there,
they
but on
expect
the
this.
camera it shows there?
What?
That guy's late for everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Doug Waechter is never late because he's right on time right now of Bally Sports Sun. And you and I have something in common with Doug. We both worked with Rich Hollenberg for many, many years. Brian Fasulo is my co-host today, Doug. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah. God bless you guys getting to work with Richie. That guy he is the best, man. I love that dude. I just talked to him. We're going to try to catch up a spring training game here soon and grab some coffee. I'm sure he's going to tell me about all the good food in the area and catch me up on all the new restaurants, man. He's quite the foodie.
Hardest working man in sports. He was calling the TCU game, and my daughter's friend is on the swim and dive team, so they all wore their Speedos to the basketball game and were chanting, Rich Hollenberg. And I'm texting.
I bet that went over well. Yeah,
that was great.
Rich is like, why are guys in Speedos chanting my name? That's what we want to know, Rich. Why are guys in Speedos chanting your name? That's what we want to know.
Ricky. That's so great. Yeah, I know he is the hardest working guy in sports. I mean, every time I turn around, I see him either on the TV or he's already hustling. He's always doing something, man. He is he's getting better by age. He's like Benjamin Button, you know? It's like he's got more energy and getting better by the age.
Well, he cut his teeth with these two jackasses you're talking to right now on Home Shopping Network. If he could work with us, he could work with anybody. So
we can blame you for this.
Yes, absolutely. we made him a grizzled, hard veteran because they had to deal with us on a daily basis. Hey, before we get into some baseball, I wanted to mention sorry for your loss and the entire organization, the fans, as Dave Wills just tragically passed a couple weeks ago in his sleep. And I know, he took you under his wing and everybody and helped everybody. Just one of the best, and just wanted to give you an opportunity to say a couple of nice words about the great Dave Wills.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Look, over the course of the last, few days, there's been a lot of tributes out there, and for good reason. This guy, I mean, he was one of a kind. There's so many good things to say about Dave, and I would say if you've been listening to talk radio, you've been listening and paying attention to what's going on and the loss of Dave, I think one of the most special things about Dave is that, of course, he's pretty much a Hall of Fame broadcaster in our book, but everybody who talks about him away from the field. I think it was almost a given how good he was in the booth, that he was born to do radio, that he was born to do broadcasting. And, we as Rays fans and, as friends we were lucky to have him as long as we did. And, it's quite the loss, but when you hear all the tributes, it's all about what Dave did away from the field. It's all about what Dave did in everybody's personal lives and how much they meant to him and how much, Dave always reached out and wanted to help people, genuinely wanted to help people, not, on the surface level. Hey, give me a call and I'll try to do something if you need me. It was more of, hey, how you doing? What can I do? How can I help you get to the next level with what you want to be at? How can I teach you? How can I mentor? How can I just be a friend? And, that's what Dave was. He was a genuine guy who had a passion for sports and a passion for covering the Rays. And it's an enormous loss for the organization, for the Rays community, but really, for everyone. And so, Dave is, he was an awesome individual. He'll never be replaced. But yeah, it is a big loss. And I appreciate you giving me a second just to talk about how special he was.
Well, well said, and a great tribute, and he will be incredibly missed. Well, and the game will move on, and the Rays, I think, we're watching some of the players at the World Baseball Classic, and I know you're watching that, Randy, with a home run the other night at Rosarena. This is great theater. Before we talk about the Rays, let's talk about the Rays in the World Baseball Classic. This is great stuff. You're watching it, I know.
Dude, I'm glued to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that sucks is that it's on at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
I'm not used to staying up, man. I'm not mid-season form yet with staying up late. I got my kids going to school. I'm helping driving them. So, I'm trying to stay up a little later. We got the time change helping. But, it was good to see USA jump back out there and actually have some offense. I know it was against a team that didn't have a lot of pitching in Canada. But just to get them on the board and get their timing at the plate is something they really, really needed. Because, their pitching's okay, it's good. It's not to the level of their hitting. I mean, their batting is 1 through 9 potential Hall of Famers. So, the offense is what's going to have to win it for U.S. And it's good to see their timing go through because, you got to remember, these guys are still in spring training mode. And so a lot of the guys on the U.S. team did not play any type of winter ball. So they're about, 3 weeks into spring training. So this is when you start seeing them hit a little bit more and getting timed up on the fastball and the off speed. So that was good to see. We got a big game for them. I think it's tonight going against, could be Colombia. I know they got another game tonight, so I'll be watching that one.
Yeah.
And then you got the other teams that I'm just glued to the TV watching. Venezuela, Puerto Rico. My gosh, Dominican Republic. These teams are so much fun.
They play baseball down there?
Yes, they do.
The passion that they bring on the field and in the stands. I was looking into bringing my kids down to the Sunday night, I believe it was Puerto Rico, Venezuela game. It was one of the two teams. We're playing in Miami, and I wanted to get down there for that game just to be involved in the environment.
Yeah.
Because, you talk about a fan base that absolutely lives and breathes baseball.
Now, does Cuba participate in that?
Yeah, Cuba's got a team.
They're not worried about defectors and
they are. Randy
thing.
Rosarena, I think, when he played in the World Baseball Classic, tried to defect many years ago, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the tournaments. They tried to. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see the Netflix doc on the Hernandez brothers?
No, I did not.
It is so gut-wrenching, so powerful, so unbelievable.
Yeah.
El Duque and Levon, unbelievable.
Oh. And Doug, I'm sure you played with some of these Cuban players that have defected. I mean, it's just, and I was in Cuba when the Rays went down there, 5-6 years ago,
right?
And the poverty is unbelievable. But isn't it crazy that these guys can be in that kind of poverty, and the next minute they're in a major league roster like a Rosarena? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible where they come from, and we don't really understand it. We didn't understand it in the minor leagues. It was just a different world. These guys, not just Cuba, parts of Dominican Republic, parts of Venezuela, Mexico, everybody, every country seems to have a group of players that do come from, really, we're talking poverty. It's not they have nothing. Yeah. And they go out there and they get to play baseball for a living, and just to make it in A-ball, just to get signed, it's like getting to the big leagues for them. And it's amazing the stories that they have and just the journey they have to go and to play professional baseball in the States. And then when they're able to make it to the big leagues, you can see in their face the pride that they have, just knowing where they came from. And it also plays out on the field, the hunger that they have on the field to just not fail and to go out there and just find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't speak English.
They don't even speak the language.
And Doug, you could talk to this, and I wanted to ask you about this because reading some of the stories about Rosarena, and he really, I guess, wasn't really going deep into the scouting reports and really he was more of just wanted to just react to pitches. And now that I guess I want to say he wants to mature his game a little bit more, pay more attention to the scouting reports, why people are pitching them the way they are. Base running, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, if this guy dials into that type of information that the Rays can give him, sky's the limit, right? He could go through an incredible transformation this year and be more consistent, which is what we need him to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to take away the aggressiveness who he is. Look, Randy Rosarena is kind of a grip it or rip it guy, right? He doesn't he's a reactionary player. he goes out there, he sees a spot to steal, and he'll take it. He doesn't think, he doesn't really overanalyze the situation. He thinks that he's going to, do something good. He's going to jump on it. And a lot of times it plays out very well for Randy. And,
right.
At times it doesn't. But that's the type of player he is. And you never want to dial back the aggressiveness to the point where you lose that type of drive. But what the Rays can do is they can give him information, and this is what the Rays are so good at, specifically on the pitching side of things, but really all over, is giving the player just enough information to be educated on the situation he's in, but still get the best out of his ability. Because there's so much information, so many numbers out there now. There's so many analytics that you can get so buried in it that you're not even thinking about the game. And then all of a sudden, all your numbers are going sideways. You're not producing on the field because you're so weighed down with your thought process. You want to be out there free and easy and have an idea, right? And the Rays are so good about teaching these guys and understanding how to teach these guys how to get the best out of their ability, utilizing numbers, utilizing analytics, understanding situations, but not overwhelming them. And I think that's what they're doing with Randy. I mean, Randy at this point, he's going out there. He wants to know the tendencies of pitchers now. He wants to know when, there's a probability of seeing a slider on the outside corner in this count. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll be looking for a pitch on the outer half, instead of going out there and just saying, I'm just going to hit this ball hard.
Right. Exactly.
And so now he's going to be able to take his game to the next level. And this is just a maturing process for a guy who's now been in the big leagues a few years, and he understands what the next stage is for him.
So can I ask an incredibly basic question?
Sure, go right ahead.
So Doug, obviously I'm not a huge baseball fan. Used to be, but whenever I travel, whether it's Boston, New York, wherever, people always ask the question. I don't know how the Rays do it. With the salary cap situations and all that kind of stuff, especially compared to these big markets. So if you had to dial it down very simply, I'll give you two things. How do the Rays do it?
Well, first of all, Sulo, I want to thank you for giving me a basic question because that's typically all I want. And I go on here in the JP show, he tries to complicate things, and I tell him all the time, hey, keep it simple for me, man. Yeah. I'm not a thinker.
Yeah. Earlier in the show, we were discussing Brooks Koepka's wife's brown starfish, so it really gets simple here.
He's got kids that listen to the show, all right?
Come on. Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will say, how do the Rays do it? There's obviously there's a lot of ways to answer that question.
Keep it simple.
In my mind, they found a formula that works for them, and they don't budge off that formula, right? So what they've had to do, they're not able to go out there and go punch the money with the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, and so instead they found a different way to win. And finding a different way to win, utilizing formula on, secondary stats that most teams didn't look at, finding different ways to get the best out of their players, and finding guys who aren't on the team that they can make better, who other teams have given up on, right? That's all part of their formula. You go out there and you look at the pitching staff, and a lot of times they bring in specifically bullpen arms, and all of a sudden these guys are having the best years of their life. Well, it's because they saw flashes of brilliance on different teams. The scouts for the Rays and the front office has identified those guys, and they brought them in with their coaches and their analytics team, and they bring the best out of them. And no other team can really find a way to do that.
Is there a close second?
I mean, there are other teams doing it now. Well, you see every other team trying to take, staff members and coaches consistently away from the Rays. Yeah. Every single year.
Been rated.
This is what Major League Baseball, other teams are doing. They're just trying to take staff members and other key.
It's like the Chinese do to us. Yeah. Like the Chinese do to us in business. They steal all our secrets and stuff, or we give it to them.
We give it to them.
We pretty much we just give it to them. Yeah. The Rays, the other teams come in and take their talent. That's how same stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like in one way it's a form of flattery because all these teams want to find out a way that the Rays are doing it, and they want to emulate it because, like you said, I mean, they're going to the playoffs. They've been to the playoffs 4 years in a row in the hardest division in baseball, and now they're going for a fifth. They're lined up with one of the best rotations in the game. They got one of the best bullpens in the game, and their offense looks extremely strong right now. So it's amazing that they're doing it all. and they're doing it at the quarter of the budget that everybody else is doing.
And
It's incredible business if you think about it.
Yeah, it's great business. But here's the thing, and Smoltzy has said this on this program. Fred McGriff said it as well. Is that essentially the Rays have mastered the regular season. They know how to win regular season games on a budget. They know how to ball on a budget, as do I. But it's the postseason that is the issue. And when you get to the postseason, you need big boppers. You need bona fide Bryce Harper smashers or Randy Arozarena to get really, really hot, an unbelievable hot stretch. And so this is the question to you, Doug. Do you see enough offense this spring that can keep them competitive till maybe, the trade deadline when if we have a surplus of pitching, we might be able to give something up to get that big bopper that could put us over the top? Because it seems like Neander has talked for, the entire offseason about going and getting some big bats. He hasn't done it yet, and that's fine because the April schedule is kind of soft. See what you got, right? See how these offensive guys are bouncing back, and then at that point, it's a better feeling for what you really need, and you can allocate your resources better. Do you think that's where they're going with this?
I think where they're going is it's coming down to health. They're banking on the fact that, the lineup needs to be healthy. And if they're healthy, then yes, we do have enough offense to get where they want to go. A healthy Brandon Lau and a healthy Wander Franco changes the entire look to the offense, right? You're talking about a guy who's a top 5 second baseman offensively in the game right now. And Brandon Lau, if he's on, he's one of the best second basemen in the game. And Wander Franco, if he was healthy all year last year, would be an MVP candidate, right? And you got a guy hitting from both sides of the plate. He can hit for power, can do it all. And so to take your 2 best hitters out of the lineup, you do that to any lineup, then it really cripples what you can do. So if they're healthy, yes, we do have enough. Are we going to be active at the trade deadline? I absolutely think so.
Yeah.
Just because, we're going to be right in the mix of it. We have a pitching staff, and this is all the way into the bullpen, that can take you to the World Series. Bar none, right off the top. We are good enough. You line up our top 3 if you want to go 3 or 4 starters, or even 5. We're deeper than most other teams too. But you line up our top guys. Sure, yeah, the Mets have DeGrom and Scherzer, and there's other teams out there that have huge star-studded names at the top. But you're telling me you wouldn't want a McClanahan Glass now right there with Eflin on the number 3?
Wow.
That's incredible. You line that up against anybody and feel good. Yeah. And then our bullpen, the way the Cash can utilize that bullpen. The pitching is there, and it's been there for the last few years. What we got to do is capitalize on the offense, and we got to be healthy. If they're healthy, I think this team can go deep. And if they make 1 or 2 moves, going into All-Star break or going into the trade deadline, which we all anticipate they probably will, I do think they're good enough offensively to make a run at it.
They could always pick up Al Kaline.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you just need a lot of Advil. You need to. I don't know if he's going to be up for it.
He makes a hell of a battery. That's all I know. He makes a hell of a battery because I see his name on the batteries all the time.
Alkaline. Wow. Yeah. Never thought of that.
Oh, it's alkaline. Oh, I thought it was. Al
Kaline was a great slugger back in the day.
It was a joke. All right, so here's the real funny stuff, and I know you got to go. So when we did that Sports Source show, we were hawking all kinds of stuff, memorabilia, right? I was a sports expert. Brian was the closer, and Rich was the guy who set everything up. Yeah. There were definitely some items in there that people would recognize if they heard it, and we want Doug to say it to Rich on air, surprise him with something. So is it the Peter Max Dale Earnhardt car? Will you do this, Doug? Like live on the air, say,
"You're gonna have to remind me. You're gonna have to text me." But yeah, I'll find a way. Look, we got a lot of shows together.
The Dale Earnhardt Peter Max.
The Dale Earnhardt Peter Max
scale. Chevy.
Yeah, those little cars we used to collect. These people went nuts over these things, man. And just say, hey, Rich, whatever happened to that Peter Max Dale Earnhardt? What do they call him?
He got to meet Dale Earnhardt. Sit with.
So ask him about that on the air. I'll text you and remind you. And your producers will be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
We get that way. We get sideways on that show anyway.
Yes, so I know you do. We'll throw that at him.
But yeah, Rich has told me a few times about who he's met through when he was doing that. He went. I guess he went with Roger Clemens and Al Leiter. Were both on his show after the World Series when the Subway Series. He said he's met a ton of guys.
I did a 3-hour webcast in like the year 2000 before there were webcasts with Joe Montana.
Series. Remember that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
With Joe Montana for 3 hours in the Atlanta Super Bowl. Yeah.
We were so cheap when we flew to the Mets-Yankees first game that
Doug's got to go. He doesn't want to hear the story.
We didn't want to stay in a hotel, so we stayed out.
All right, Doug, thank you, man. Thank you for taking time out. Tell everybody hello there in the truck, and you're the best, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting up with us.
What a treat. Man, y'all have a great day.
Thanks.
Right,
you are the best. He is the best. That's
putting
really
up
with
cool.
us. Yeah, sorry, I knew he had to go. So
could you make a case if you were an argumentative person that all of the magic?
If I'm an argumentative person,
let me ask you this: if you had to build a case of the best sports story in Tampa Bay over the last 10 years, would it be the Lightning's 2 championships? Would it be the Tom Brady run, or would it be this always the bridesmaid, never the bride that sat back and won 100 games every year?
Look, this is the greatest story ever told. The most moribund, horrific Yucks franchise. Somehow, the ugly duckling gets the most handsome All-American boy to notice her and says, I'm going to go win a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady coming to the Buccaneers is the greatest story in the history of Tampa Bay sports.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, it just is. He's the greatest player in the history of the biggest game in our nation. It's the NFL. The NFL is king. He's the greatest player to ever play the game. He was never going to leave the Patriots. And only one idiot that I know of in this market was bold enough to say the day after Jameis Winston said, check your sheet, Tom Brady is going to be the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their next quarterback, and he's going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know who that idiot was?
He had played golf with Bruce Arians not too far before, right?
Yeah. That was
you.
That was me.
I vaguely remember
Actually, I played with Bruce afterwards, and I told him of my bold prediction.
Okay.
And he said, you're damn right he is.
Yes. So
and I was like, oh, I was just fooling around. So I'm actually right.
when I meet people from
it was
Boston,
a little bit more than that. But
when I meet people from Boston, I always tell them, Tom Brady announced that he's going to go in the Hall of Fame as a Buccaneer.
Oh, God,
and they always look at me with this shock.
What, are you crazy? What? Stop it, you idiot.
Yeah.
No, and Boston has been our bitch for quite some time. So, and we need to keep it that way, even though the Bruins are having a historic season.
Yep. Great sports town.
No, we took their Gronk. We took their Brady.
Yeah.
And we went and won a Super Bowl. That's the worst thing you could do to another sports city.
They kind of gave
that's like going
Brady,
in your house, stealing your hot wife and your kids.
Yeah.
And then going and being on the biggest stage, and you got to look at us for 3 years, at least 2 years, 2 good years, while you sit back there with Mac Jones, without offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Patriots fan? How you feeling, Boston fans?
Well, we're going to see how it feels in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know. We're back to irrelevant. Not irrelevant though. Look, and this is be a nice stretch here. We'll take a quick break here because we're going to talk hoops here in a little bit. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk some Bucks because there's some breaking news. There's trades going on. We got free agency, so we got all kinds of stuff we got to get to. So stay with us. The great Brian Fasulo is here. It's not Nick Geddes, my former News Channel 8 colleague. We are brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, good friends. We love them. And go shop at their jewelry superstore. Great selection, best prices, and you know what you're getting. Honest people there and great people in the community. So Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road. Back in 3 with Bucks Talk.
Here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to jeeveslawgroup.com. Hey guys, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There is no better place to shop for jewelry than the Gold and Diamond Source. We know that. They are the family jewelers, and they will treat you like family. It's always a fun experience. Just head on over there. You will not find a better selection anywhere in the world. It's a jewelry super center. They've got engagement rings, necklaces, earrings, pendants, chains, and thousands of diamonds to choose from. They're all right there. They don't have to ship anything in. They have jewelry for every price range as well. Guys, if you're looking for some of those baller watches, they have a great selection. They have new and used. You can get some great collectibles there as well. And if you're looking for some more affordable gold and diamond jewelry, you have to check out the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Emily created this collection for people who want to wear and stack elaborate jewelry but don't want to pay the big ticket prices. You got to check this stuff out. The Golden Diamond Source has plenty of options to accommodate any budget, interest-free financing for up to 5 years, and a layaway program, 20% down and only 6 monthly payments. And this month only, get up to 15% off the March birthstone, which is aquamarine. Like we always say, keep it local, folks. The Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, such great philanthropic benefactors. So let's keep it all local here when we have the opportunity, right? It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you looking to lose weight or just lean up for bathing suit season where there are so many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there? You don't know where to start, right? We'll start at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and will help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently. Many of these other approaches are designed for the masses. So how's that going to work for you specifically? It's not. Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you so the weight comes off safely without the use of harmful drugs and side effects. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation. Home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com.
Fanstream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show.
Wow. He turns into a pirate.
Hey, mateys. We're going to talk some Buccaneers here. It's our booty.
This studio only uses Google Chrome. Like, who uses that?
Is Google Chrome not a thing?
It's a thing, but if you have an Apple computer, which smart people do, then they use, Safari, not Google. I had to download an operating system.
Well, I mean, Nick has we usually run the show on an Apple computer.
Yeah, but you just use Google Chrome. It threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I know those people are smart, but here we are.
Yeah. Some of those people would say, who the hell would pay $2,000 for a laptop when you don't have to pay that much money for a laptop?
Yeah.
Those are the smart people.
Yeah, well.
Not you rich people. I used to have a Mac, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't all it was cracked up to be quite honest.
I forgot what it's like to have wallowed in mediocrity and been poor enough to not own a Mac. I've totally forgotten those. I've stricken those days.
Become such
from
an
my
elitist.
memory.
Oh my God.
God.
All right, so the Bucs made some news yesterday in signing Jamel Dean. I don't know how the hell they did it, $26 million guaranteed to the top corner on the market. He could have got so much more than that. We can hear that, he could have got so much more than that on the open market. He went on the booze cruise, well, not a booze cruise, the Buccaneers team cruise last week. And I guess the people buttered him up so much that he just came back and gave us a hometown discount. I mean, I'm for it. Thank you, Jamel Dean, for coming back for that. But, man, he could have made so much more in the open market.
Yeah,
God bless him.
I wouldn't want to be that salesperson for the Bucs to try to extol the reasons why you should stay.
Well, I mean, it's a no-tax state, as we know, state tax state. We know that. So you're making a little bit of money there. I think some guys, and I think this is smart, actually, in order to pick up your entire family and move your family to another city, find a new house, find new schools, all that stuff. How much money and time and energy are you wasting by that time?
No, you make a great point.
And you're going to a new system where new coaches, new people, you got to learn all the new stuff. I mean, 52 million, 4 years. He's probably going to make all that money. A lot of these are just 2-year deals for 26 million. He's probably going to make all that money at that level. So $52 million over the next 4 years. The kid that comes from humble beginnings, he probably said, you know what, that's enough, and I don't have to change anything. I could stay here and play where I want to.
Always end up in Buffalo.
Right, exactly, or New Jersey, for God's sakes.
Stop it!
What about Indianapolis? What do I go to Indianapolis? What if you have to play in Indianapolis? Yeah. Detroit. What if you have to live in Detroit, for God's sakes?
I mean, but Buffalo,
my God,
that
ain't worth
outside, it. And oh my God.
Yeah, they do play outside, and it's freaking cold. And so they do the same in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could go. People take the money and go do that.
And state tax, I want to say, all things considered, I think it's 13 or 14% more to live in New York.
Yeah.
And
it's more than that.
Outside of
that's the state income tax, and then there's the city tax.
Yeah. Well, not in Buffalo, but yeah.
Yeah, right. If you play in the city, you got the city tax too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably taking home 40% of their money.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And California.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So
to spend on really important things.
Well, they're all moving here, and that's why your property values are
By the way, and so's the traffic. You cannot get on I-4 now or 75, 270 at any time where it's not traffic in downtown Tampa, all the way from Tampa to Orlando. Trust me on that.
I was
playing. It's just simply because our infrastructure has been absolutely overrun in the last year, and it ain't going to stop. Thanks to Ron DeSantis.
I was playing.
It ain't going to stop. They're all going to be coming here.
member guest 2 weeks ago, and I was playing.
See how
with
he drops the name? Yeah.
I was playing with a fella who, after the round, was flying to India, and he said, after the round, I'm going to fly to India, and I'm going to get like 5 drinks and get on the plane. And it was his plane, by the way. But anyway, I said, yes, I have to get back to Tampa, so we will probably arrive
at the same time.
Yeah.
100%.
I can't handle it.
So he told that story just so he could say he played in the Ellsworth member guest. He did that.
No,
that's exactly what he did.
Shit the bed if everybody wants to know. I mean, lost every single 9-hole match, but it was fun and lovely.
The big money people. How much money did you lose?
I only had to put in a couple $100. I think my member friend, I think it was like $3,000.
Well, there you go.
It's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of shirts.
Speaking of a lot of dough, so Shaq Mason gets traded to the Texans, a 7th for a 6th. So basically, the Bucs move up a bunch of spots, pick up a draft pick, and they're shedding salary. He was going to make about $10 million this year, so they'll move Gedeke into right guard or Hainsey or draft somebody. So they saved that money, using that money to sign Jamel Dean. And we'll see what else happens.
Just free up some money for Baker Mayfield, shall we?
What do you think of Baker coming here?
It's such a great question.
To a guy who makes infomercials, you must love Baker Mayfield coming here.
He's got a lot of personality.
He does, yeah.
He's got a ton of personality. Yeah. So you tell me, did the Kyle Trask working underneath Tom Brady thing just not pan out?
No, I think we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Is he going to play?
Yeah, well, they're going to give him the opportunity to start, and they're going to bring in a veteran, probably Baker Mayfield.
Is Gabbert out?
Gabbert's out. Blaine Gabbert's out. And so starting fresh. They might bring him back as another veteran. I don't know. But I think Baker is the guy who wants to come here and compete for the job because he probably feels like he can beat out Kyle Trask, and he probably will.
Yeah. What kind of a discount if he was worth X in Cleveland and then Y in
well, he's been working off his rookie contract. So, but this contract is going to be new, and I would say probably it's, probably going to be really a 1-year, $6 to $8 million deal. I don't think he's that much.
Fair.
He's in that that lower tier. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, the Bucks,
which is 8 or 9 in New York,
right? Or 12. Yeah. So he comes here probably on that kind of deal. Or it's Jacoby Brissett, one of those guys, the second, third tier retread quarterbacks. But I think Baker has some upside, especially in this offense, because this offense, we have a new offense coordinator, Dave Canales, who comes from the LA Rams system. And, of course, he just went out to the LA Rams system and put up 51 points on that one game. So, look, he can run, he can throw, he can do all those things. I think he's been humbled a little bit, so he's not going to come in with that bombastic attitude, and it could be, a workable guy. You got Godwin, you got Evans, you got, Cade Otton, who I think is a nice pass-catching tight end. They'll probably draft another tight end. Rashad White, I think, is going to be a really, really good running back. They've got some pieces. Russell Gage re-signed. Hopefully he can be healthy. So you got some nice pieces here for a quarterback, and you're going to have a running game that it's going to be more effective because it can't be less effective because it was historically horrible.
Is Fournette going to care this year?
Fournette's gone. Fournette's gone. He's gone. Yeah.
So he will care about this year about as much as he did last year.
Right, which he really, he was big. He was big. He probably put on 15, 20 pounds. And he was slow. Yeah. I was watching some tape of him in the Super Bowl season. I'm like, not even close to the same guy that was last year. He's so slow.
So Baker Mayfield is one of these you either love him or hate him guys. Nobody doesn't have an opinion about him, and you like to hearken back to their college and say, I like this guy, and you sort of stake your own personal stock in them.
Right.
And both he and Johnny Manziel I kind of liked, even though they were both recalcitrants, even though they were both a little smaller, quite dynamic, undeniably awesome in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I kind of dug those guys. So it's almost like I bought the stock, I have to hold it because I kind of like this kid.
And he could pop. Look what Geno Smith did this year.
He took the Browns to the playoffs.
I mean, that's something.
That's really something.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Brian Sipe might have been the last one.
Yeah, nice call on that one. Vinny Testaverde was in the Browns uniform.
Come on.
There was but yeah, Baker, he had a nice running game that year with Nick Chubb and that whole group, and it was a very multiple offense like you saw in L.A. I think it's gonna. I think it could work.
They had to take a serial sexual offender in order to get rid of him.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
guarantee him $240 million.
Just take Cleveland and encapsulate it.
And now every agent went, oh my God, did they just really guarantee him $240? Now my client, then we can go in there and demand guaranteed money because Deshaun Watson, you idiot.
24 women.
Do you know it was way more than that, wasn't it?
I thought it was 20.
But he's
what like Cosby.
Here's what I've always said about that is like, and everybody's like, oh, how can the NFL let him play? How can the justice system let him out of jail? I mean, he never went to jail.
Because it's not criminal. These were all civil allegations. I think there was one criminal allegation, maybe one. I could be wrong. I usually am. But that is such an extraordinary story. You take this.
Well, the grand jury, there were criminal allegations, but the grand jury came back and said, "Sorry, we don't have enough evidence." And I'm not in the grand jury. I don't know what is known in the public and what the grand jury hears because of evidentiary rules is two totally different things. So we don't know.
Right.
But all I know is with everything that we know that happened, and I've seen interviews with these women who are crying and they seem very sincere.
When one person says it,
dude.
You have to consider it. It's
right.
important. When
and then he stands in front of the media and is like, I never did anything wrong.
26, 24 people say it? Maybe something wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine anybody else having these obligations and not being thrown under the jail.
And getting
not only is he not in jail, he's guaranteed. He's got the richest guaranteed contract
in the history of the game. And here's Baker Mayfield like, okay, could someone explain this to me? I just took this franchise from complete shit to the playoffs. These guys who have been wearing these latex masks in the dog pound for 40 years. I am their savior. And we're going to bring in this guy who solicits hand jobs. Allegedly from 26 different victims, allegedly.
It goes on Instagram and, because NFL football players don't have absolute free massages from anybody they want that the club will have come to the facility and do that.
Bob Kraft could facilitate that.
How does that video never get out, by the way?
Money?
How does that, the justice system is not blind my ass. It's all about the green.
For God's
How does that,
sakes.
I would have bet a big money that thing would have leaked out somehow, some way. That's big money.
Yeah,
that's NFL. That's
big
big time
money,
mafia stuff there.
He probably had people go in there
allegedly.
and tear the place up.
Oh yeah, right. But
it's on the corner of Indiantown and US 1.
You hang out in those circles. You grew up in those circles. How does a guy with that much money, and I mean, probably had Epstein's number, why would he be going to a Jack Shack in a strip mall?
Boy, isn't that a wonderful question? I don't think
you could order. You could order it like off the menu. It's disgusting.
Let me give you a theory.
People like this can do whatever the hell they want.
And therein lies the problem. Let me give you a theory.
So that's it. He wants the danger of it.
No. When you're a billionaire and you bring a woman into your home,
So you're saying it's the old who I forget who said this famous quote. You don't pay the hooker for the sex, you pay them to go away. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with the push of a button, any woman is inside of his place, and it's broadcast all over the country. I mean, so
is this like the Tiger Woods thing where you have to tell them you're going on vacation?
You get it. This woman has an
she
NDA.
She goes to the airport, thinks she's going on a plane. They go, by the way, we just locked you out of the house.
Yes.
Dude, that's so
Welcome
wrong.
to being a billionaire. And I'm not empathizing for these people, but in some sick sort of rationale, I get it. And I don't envy that for them. But any woman that's with Tiger Woods is such an incredible PR liability that you could just, it's
weird.
So if Epstein didn't hustle children in this deal, then it's the greatest scam in the world.
Right.
Because you get on the Lolita Express, you're a billionaire, you go out to the billionaire's house and you do things with consenting adults.
Right.
You at home, you can figure out whether that's good or bad, but it's legal.
Right.
And it circumvents when your phone doesn't go on the plane or when the plane goes off, then everything is quiet. But you asked the question, I'm giving a skewed theory as to why that sort of thing took place. I may be wrong. I usually am.
But it's a world I am unfamiliar with, thank God. All right, we will take a break, and your favorite person's coming on next, Coach Z. David Zimrot's going to join us next. We're going to talk. We'll hopefully get some talking about the NCAA tournament because he coached in that thing.
This is good stuff.
But it may be just a bunch of great stories, so you may just get that. We're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source, American Mortgage Services, and the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group. If your car has been totaled, you don't think you got the settlement you deserve, well, dadgummit, call them. It's a free call. Find out if you have a case. Just reach them through the website. JeevesLawGroup.com. Back in 3 with the great David Zimmer.
The PGA Tour is back. The Valspar Championship returns to Innisbrook March 16th to the 19th with 4 days of great golf action and a host of fun activities that make it Tampa Bay's hottest spring sports. Every tournament day offers something different. On Friday, we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day with the wearing of the green. Saturday means Bar Live, where tournament patrons will be able to enjoy country music superstar Darius Rucker with free night champion. You don't want to miss it. Everybody will be there. Tickets on sale now at ValsparChampionship.com for all tournament days, both grounds and premium ticket options. You don't want to miss it. The 2023 Valspar Championship. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. All right, I got to do this thing, doing this banner show thing. I can't multitask anymore.
Oh, yeah?
No, sorry, I have to do one thing at a time, which is not conducive to what I'm trying to do right here. David Zimroth, former assistant basketball coach at Georgia and Florida State in their heyday, at USF as well in their heyday, joins the show. What's up, Z? How are you?
No, wait. It's JP, Fasulo, Zimroth.
Yes,
Didn't
baby.
we all one night close Clyde's and Costello's? I just can't remember.
One night. Yeah, it was probably more than one night.
What a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Was Jimmy V there that night or Dickie V? I don't know. It was one of the V's.
Well, it would have been Dickie V. It might have been Jimmy V.
Might have been Jimmy V. Absolutely. Yeah. I think we even had Z come into the old WTXL Sunday Sports Extra set, too, one time.
You want to hear full circle about Coach Z?
Yeah.
So when my daughter was contemplating where to go to school and whatnot as a Division I athlete, she went through this horrible sort of sadness and depression about where she wanted to go and whether she was making the right decision and whether she wanted to decommit. And I called Coach Z, and I was crying. I was in I was in California because he's just always been that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Put her on the phone with me, Bri." And he walked me through the whole thing, and Gabby ended up going out, and they playing for the number one team in the nation. And, Coach, I would submit to you that, my friend, is what it's all about.
Oh, that means a lot. No, I remember that. I'm so happy for your daughter, man. Look, at the end of the day, it's not the level. It's who you're playing for and who you're playing with. And as long as that coach is treating her with respect and her teammates all get along, that's really what takes you for the next 30 or 40 years. So I'm glad it's all worked out for her. I'm a big fan.
That's very kind, sir.
What did you tell her? What was the advice?
Not speaking with her. He just walked me through all of the ups and downs and all the things. But yeah, she was in a terrible place.
What would you Z? So for those of you who don't know, Z was one of the greatest basketball recruiters in the history of the state of Florida. NCAA recruited Bob Sura, Charlie Ward, Doug Edwards, Sam Cassell, 4 first-round draft picks. We could go on and on. And so he knows what recruiting is all about. What would you, if you had a parent right now come to you and say, or a kid, like, how do I make this decision? What are the things I really need to look for? What's important? And I know the landscape has changed, but I think a lot of the bedrock things remain the same. What would you tell them?
I don't think I would change much from my initial recruiting philosophy. It's the people that make the place. How you're recruited will determine how you're treated. And I really think it's important that the relationship between the head coach and the prospect is imperative. It's got to be the number one priority, because if there's not a relationship already in place, then the safeguards that a parent is looking for and a 18-year-old female or male is looking for, they're really never there. And I've seen both sides of it. So, there are certain sports, those relationships are more easily cultivated. Like basketball coaches, they do a great job of that. I can't speak for other sports or the minor non-revenue producing sports. I don't know how much those coaches get out. I really don't. I don't know how many times. I used to sit in people's homes 5-6 times, have dinner at their house, meet the kid after school, sit out in their driveway with them. I mean, that's the stuff that will determine the relationship. And then lastly, are you in the plans? And who else is on the roster? Who else you're recruiting? Have it up front. I tell you a quick story. I signed with a Division II school in Miami at a high school named Biscayne College. Mm-hmm. And the coach told me X, Y, and Z. I get to the school. He signed 3, JUCO transfers. He had a fifth-year kid come in. I was 18 years old, 160 pounds, playing against grown men. I mean, it was it was awful. It was awful.
And Coach, sorry, you at Florida State had the benefit of the guy who literally would say, that's Warren Hart, and his mother makes a heck of a peach pie.
He used Coach Bowden.
Who was not, if he wasn't the epitome of the most real, most genuine, most loving, caring coach in sports, please tell me who is.
I'm glad you met. I'm glad that wasn't Pat Kennedy. He don't know what peach pie was, but Bobby Bowden, and I say Bobby Bowden with all love and respect, but anytime you didn't say Coach Bowden, you got your head ripped off. But he was great to me in my recruiting endeavors. He met with anybody I asked him to. He was really good with talking about what separated Florida State from a lot of other places, and he told me early in my career that FAMU was probably the most important thing that Florida State had going for him.
Yep.
And he was right.
A lot of people don't know that.
Having two schools in that town, an historically black college that everyone in Florida knew of FAMU or was connected to FAMU. So, I took a lot of pages out of his book, and he asked me to help them recruit a little bit, He asked me to go do the last contact with Andre Cooper in Jacksonville. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Because we have one contact left. Will you use it? And I flew up there and got it done.
How about that? That's a great story. For those of you who don't know, Andre was Mr. Basketball, Gatorade Player of the Year, basketball and football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he was. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Brad Scott called me in my room in the Marriott in Miami at 7 a.m. Back then, let me tell you something. If that phone rang at 7 a.m, it was to wake me up to catch a flight.
Yeah.
So he goes, Coach Bowden wants you to use the last last contact on Andre Cooper.
Yeah.
I said, Bowden wants me to use the last contact? He goes, Coach Bowden. So and every time I said Bowden, he would say Coach Bowden. So I called Pat Kennedy to see if it was okay to do that, and he goes, I said, Pat, Bowden wants me. He goes, Coach Bowden. So at the end of it, Pat goes, if Bowden wants you to do that, then you'd go do it. I said, Coach Bowden, and hung up the phone.
That's fantastic. Wow.
David Zimrod joining us here. So one of our fans here in the comment section says, ask Z about who should be the next coach at USF. You were an assistant coach there. Should have gotten the head coaching job, in my opinion, when Seth left.
My opinion, too.
I agree. We wouldn't be in the situation we are now. But and we continue to bring in people from out of state that don't have connections to the high school coaches in the state of Florida, and it doesn't work. And I'm guessing that's where you're going with this, as far as what USF should be looking at right now. What do you think?
Well, being away from the program for 20 years this April, whether people feel I have the ability to say what the profile should be or not, is really not important to me. I know what the profile should be, and I've known what the profile should be for close to 28, 30 years already, okay? I think it has to be a person that is connected to the state of Florida, where when it's announced, people in Florida, whether it be the local community, fans, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, JUCO coaches, they got to go, oh, God, I have a relationship with that. That's what's got to happen. And in all sincerity, I can't remember. Coach Pascal had relationships.
Yes, he did.
Prior to getting the job.
Yes, he did.
And I think it benefited him well. I had relationships, and I know it benefited us.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that's important because you got nothing else to lean on.
Right.
So Coach,
profile is that.
Does that point to Dusty May, who's a 9 seed at Florida Atlantic?
Well, I'll tell you this. Dusty May coached at Florida as an assistant and has been there 5 years at FAU. Dusty May is a guy that has Florida contacts. Dusty May, I believe, is a guy that people would go, wow, can they get Dusty May? Yeah. I don't think they can get him.
They can't get him. He's going to a bigger program. Yeah.
I don't think a guy that wins 31 games at FAU, which is, if you talk about miracles, if you talk about doing something completely out of the norm, what he's done at that school this year, don't know if it's ever going to be repeated. Don't know if it's possible.
It's extraordinary.
So is he going to take a 31 or 32 win season and take this job if it's offered to him?
No, it'd be a lateral
or
move.
Are you looking for a job that has a little bit more, power to it, a little bit more name recognition?
Yeah.
If I'm him, I don't take this job. Now, if he took it, would I be happy? Hell yeah, I'd be happy. But do you have the greatest year maybe that you're ever going to have, and this is the job you're taking?
No.
I'm not so sure that's the move.
Yep.
So the profile is somebody who has a lot of contacts in Florida. Is there anybody on your radar as far as that would be a good choice in your mind?
Well, I saw that thing Joey Knight put out, yesterday. I'm like, come on with Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino isn't going to coach at the age of 71 to rebuild the program. Rick Pitino's trying to go somewhere where he can win a national championship before he calls it a day. Is he winning a national championship here? He's not winning a national championship here. Is this league a big enough profile for him? No, it's not. So at the end of the day, him and his son on that list, I just think if you're going to go, you need somebody new. You need a new blood. You need someone with, a history of getting it done at other places. So if you're a top assistant coach, I thought having Chris Capto's name in there, the job he's done at USC was really good. Charlton Young, who was the assistant at Florida State, now he's in Missouri, played at Miami Carroll City. I mean, everyone in Florida knows who he is.
That's a good
If you're
one.
going to go with a bit of an older guy, Stan Jones, I would make a phone call to Stan Jones up at Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is an unbelievable coach. He's proven he can recruit. Everyone in Florida loves Stan Jones.
Loves him.
So if you're going to go in that route, those are the guys I would maybe call. If you're looking for a guy that I don't call Mike Bray a retread by any means, but Mike Bray would turn some heads if he took this job.
Big time.
I mean, Mike Bray is one of those guys. Everyone knows who he is. He's recruited Florida while he's been at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Mike Bray's a national name who did a job at Notre Dame. I mean, he's the all-time winningest coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, those are the things I would look for. I would not bring in someone that's lost a job or two. I would not bring in someone that is totally disconnected from this state. I surely would never bring in someone that's already worked here. Never do that.
Yeah.
That's blueprints for failure. So that's what my profile would be. And then lastly, and I know you haven't asked the question yet. Okay, I talked to a guy that coaches in probably the 6th or 7th best conference in the country, and he said to me the other day, "It's all about NIL now, Z. And if you don't have things in place through your athletic administration, you don't have X, Y, and Z, and this kind of money coming in. What are you going to do? How are you going to compete?"
Right.
So I don't know who's in Tampa that's willing to pony up and do all that stuff. I know if I was the head basketball coach here, I wouldn't be waiting for the athletic director to do it. And if a coach isn't allowed to do it, I'd still do it. I'd be meeting with people left and right. This is what we need. This is how much we have to have. These are the things that we need to compete and win the American Athletic Conference. Because you got Memphis, they're doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wichita State's about to break the bank on a new hire.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows anything about Wichita State, their history in basketball is off the charts.
Pretty damn good. Yeah. Now,
so that's my profile.
It comes down to money these days, and you know what? Rightfully so. The players deserve some money. It's a screwed up situation the way it is right now, but it's the way it is. You got to have NIL. Which USF booster is stepping up to write that check for a few million a year to pay the players?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'd tell you an interesting story. I went to the UMass game here at the Sun Dome. It was probably the third or fourth time been to the Sun Dome since I was let go. And I'm walking on the baseline, and a guy that's been a supporter of the program, not going to give you his name.
Right.
He goes, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" So I said, "I'm doing great. How about yourself, sir?" He goes, "I'm doing well." He goes, "What are you doing these days?" I tell him what I'm doing, as if, how do you not know what I'm doing?
Right.
So he goes, "Man, we can really use some help in recruiting here." Now, he says that to me
to say the least.
Prior to probably the 6th game of the year. Yet he's a supporter of the basketball program.
Yeah.
He's stabbing that staff in the back, talking to me. That is what you're dealing with a lot of times.
Yeah.
The same group of people that has been around that has gone through 5 or 6 head coaches.
Right.
And the second things don't go right, we got to get someone. They don't know anything about basketball, these guys.
Yeah.
And then the money, they feel that that's a reason that they can give an opinion on what to do. They don't know anything about basketball. And you got to have someone in there helping Coach Mike Kelly that knows this game and the business of basketball. Remember what I just said? The business of basketball.
Yeah. I mean, is it? I know the league is down now that they're in. Is there anything that makes USF attractive to these big coaches? I mean, Vital once called it one of the toughest jobs in America, if not the toughest.
It's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up. All I ever wanted to do was come here and coach.
Right.
I was interested in the job when I worked Lee Rose's camps in the early 80s. When I got to Florida State, I kept an eye on it. Yep. Okay, we played them. I recruited Tampa. I always thought the place was a dynamite place.
Yeah.
Vital used to say, heck, the guy I worked with every day would say, this job is the hardest job ever. And I would say, we're getting kids left and right. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, well, why do you keep saying that? If it was that tough a job, would B.B. Walden have signed here?
Yeah.
Would we've had the commitments we had? So, P.S. to that, here are the things that are attractive if you're the coach. A, obviously, the demographics. Yeah. Okay? You got Tampa, Florida. You're going to make a really good salary.
Yeah.
Okay? You've got the state of Florida to recruit. Okay?
Yeah.
And in areas of importance, the priority, you better be able to recruit the I-4 corridor, which is abundant with talent. Abundant.
Yes.
You get in your car, you drive from here to Daytona Beach to Sarasota. Boom, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
2 kids a year minimum.
Yeah.
Then you've got your hidden pockets. You've got your areas down, south, Pahokee, Belglade, those places. You got to be connected down there. Then you have to have a relationship with Dade, Broward, and West Palm Beach coaches. You have to. Yep. Because if you can get a kid out of one of those 3 counties every year, boom, you're done. Got to be able to go to Jacksonville. Got to be able to hit the transfer portal.
Yep.
And then lastly, you better have some money.
For the NIL. Yeah. All right.
I left out 2 names.
Who's that?
If I was the AD at USF right now, I would be meeting formally or informally with Donnie Jones at Stetson. Donnie Jones did a great job at UCF. He's done an unbelievable job at Stetson. He was with Billy Donovan when they built that program, and people in Florida really like him.
Yeah.
And then lastly, don't even know if this is possible, Anthony Grant, would he leave Dayton to finish his career here?
Everybody knows
that
him.
Would be and those are the guys that helped Billy Donovan. If you look at the history, if you didn't have a guy on your staff at Florida State from the state of Florida, you couldn't win.
Right.
Pat Kennedy hired me and Tom Carlson, 2 high school coaches.
Yep.
Rest is history. Billy Donovan hires Anthony Grant. Rest is history. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
You got to have it.
Got to have it. All right, real quick before you go, I know we haven't talked a lot about this tournament, but it seems to be wide open. Everybody talking about these number 1 seeds, Kansas, Houston, all of them can be upset. Do you have any favorites in this? Any dark horses? What do you got?
Yeah, you're not gonna like me for this because I can't stand doing brackets because I want to see good games.
I know.
And I want my guys to do well. So I'm going to give you my final 4, which no one else will have.
All right.
I will after this.
I want Utah State to win the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, because my boy Ryan Odom's the coach.
All right.
I want FAU in there because I'm a Florida guy, and it's a great Cinderella story.
It is a great story.
I want Miami in there because I'm a Florida guy. Now, if I was coaching at Florida State or in another school in the state, no, I wouldn't want him in there. But it all comes down to whether the kid Norchad O'Meara is healthy, 14 points in 10 rebounds. And then I tell you this, I got a sentimental spot for my boys at Gonzaga. They've been there. They haven't gotten it done. The kid, Drew Timmy's been in the Final Four like 18 times in 4 years.
He's still there. And, oh, my God.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. So that's the Bizarro world. You'll love it. That's the Bizarro Seinfeld world. There. In the real world, I got Virginia. I got Duke because they're playing out of their minds.
Wow.
I got Houston only if Marcus Sasser is healthy, first-team All-American. And I got UCLA. There you go.
All right. Hey, Z, that's been fun, man. We got to do this again sometime. We'll get all three of us together. I love it, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. You're the best.
What a treat.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Man. Thank you.
All right, the great David Zimroth right there.
What a treasure that guy
Isn't he?
is.
All right, we got 5 minutes left. What else you want to do?
I just want to sit and think about how enchanted that guy is.
Isn't he the best? He's got such great stories. Just the best.
And it's such a gift because what he is doing now, amongst other things, is his coaching and mentoring here in Tampa Bay for basketball.
Yeah.
And if this show is within earshot of anyone who wants to develop a young athlete, and I've been down this road, the challenges are not only physical, it encompasses so much, and it takes so much to develop an athlete in today's environment that aligning yourself with someone like him might just be the best thing you ever did.
Yeah. If you got a kid that is learning the game of basketball, you got to get in touch with Z, and I'll put out his information a little bit. At DZ Sports on Twitter, you can find him that way. And dzimroth at Verizon.net, I believe, is his email address. So I'll put it up on Twitter. Just the best, absolutely the best.
As our children all go through the snowflaking of America, sports are going to become even more important because as a parent, you want a third party yelling at your child.
Yeah.
You want a third party teaching your child where they're supposed to be, when and why, and the repercussions if they're not. And because we, as parents over the last 20 years, are failing to do that because we don't want to hurt their feelings.
Exactly.
We don't want to insult them.
Yeah.
And we don't want their therapist to get mad at us, or we don't want it to affect their meds. Then we are, as parents, owe it to our children to have someone to make them responsible for their actions, to want to grind, to fail.
The worst thing you can do to your kid is teach them how to be a victim. The worst thing you can possibly do is to blame other people for all their issues.
And sports is the great equalizer for that. You're not going to find that in a library, folks.
Yep.
You're not going to find it on
TikTok. The lessons that sports
TikTok.
teaches your kids are absolutely the most important lessons in the world. Teamwork, kindness, hard work, perseverance, the meritocracy of sports. I know everybody gets a trophy, but that's only in the last 20, 30 years. But still, those lessons are the best lessons.
Winning and, more importantly,
integrity.
Losing.
Yes, losing with class.
Losing is
absolutely the best teacher in the world. It is. It just is.
Come on.
I remember. I can see it as plain as day. Going into my phys ed room in Olson Middle School and looking up on that freaking manila folder the Coach Hamilton used to use to put everything on, and said, and my name was on the taxi squad and not on, I didn't make the team.
Right.
And it was like, it was crushing. And I went out that day and I think I shot 1,000 free throws, 1,000 free throws, and got better and got better and got better.
My kids had this Eastern European coach, and he had bad breath, and he was the meanest guy. And the parents from other teams couldn't believe how much he would scream at these children. And I would sit there and go, "Go, coach! Go,
yeah, absolutely,
go, coach, go."
They ain't gonna break. They ain't gonna break.
No.
Partner, it was great.
Hey man,
that was so much fun having you come on. Let's do this again sometime.
Time flies when you're talking.
Start, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I had to slouching towards Gomorrah here.
Absolutely fabulous. Nick will be back next week, hopefully, if he comes back from his vacation and honeymoon. So good for that. We got, tomorrow, Paul Stewart, the official historian or unofficial historian of the Buccaneers from London, England, will be joining us from across the pond. Scott Reynolds is going to join us as well. We'll talk a lot of Bucs tomorrow and have some fun with that.
I'm going to go on and find Ryan Gerard on Instagram. And
Valspar Championship.
Yeah,
get your tickets. We'll be out there at the Valspar all week as well.
That'll be awesome.
That's going to be fun. So thanks so much for joining us, all you folks that commented. Sorry we didn't get to comments today. We'll do that tomorrow, and we will chat with you then. Have a great day. Go Bolts tonight in New Jersey. Big game for them.